Welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, June 14th, 2021, and I am your host, Kim Mattina. And I am so excited to have on my show today Miss Casey Swift. Casey comes to us from South Florida, and she is an Apple certified trainer, a Google certified trainer, an Apple teacher, a Microsoft innovator. She's got a lot to offer. Plus, she is a computer science educator as well, and I will be teaching computer science in the fall. So that's another thing that we can talk
Hey.
about as well. But Casey, welcome to the Sweet Talk. I'm so excited to have you on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. You said a lot. I mean, I have been super passionate about ed tech for almost a decade now. I've been teaching about 12 years. I have a master's in educational technology, and I'm 24 credits into my doctoral degree for instructional technology. So I
Wow, that's a
cannot get
lot. Good
enough.
for you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm, like you said, Google trainer. Google's kind of my passion. My big goal is trying to get a lot of our teachers that are, trained in PowerPoint and Microsoft to come over to the Google world. I always joke that we have cookies here, and, we have so much fun on Google, and there's just so many opportunities. And I don't knock Microsoft. I love PowerPoint too. I feel that, especially in my line of work, I teach kindergarten. I feel that Google is super kid friendly, and I had a lot of opportunities. So.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm a Google girl too. So everything with me, it's all about Google. I live in the Google world, so
Me
I'm
too.
right
It's
there
a
with
fun
you.
place to be.
Yeah, I'm like Android. There's no Apple phone. It's all Android devices and everything. Google Nest. I got it all. So I'm right there
Yes.
with you. So Casey, I know we were talking a little bit. I know you want to share a little bit of a variety of Google Chrome extensions. And I'm excited to learn what you want to share because I find Chrome extensions are very hard to keep up with. And
Mm-hmm.
I always use the ones I know. Like I
Mm-hmm.
use specific ones all the time. I have them pinned and I don't really browse the Chrome web store,
Right.
because I have what I'm using. I'm getting my job done. So I'm really excited to hear some of the extensions that you find that can be very helpful. I know there's a whole bunch, so I'm willing to hear what you have to say, and hopefully I can learn and install a few and try them out.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's not something that we come across a lot in terms of new extensions. And, I have a lot of social media platforms where I hear people talking about them. And I actually have a whole list in my notes app where I'm like, oh, I got to try that one. So I actually try to steer away from the ones that people know a lot about and dig into the ones where you just don't hear about them a lot. And some of the ones that I'm going to show you today are 100% useless, but they are so much fun. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Because
Well,
you're
let me
probably
ask
like,
you
what?
something. How do you what makes you think of a useless term and search for it in the Chrome store? Like, what are you looking for? Like I just wouldn't know what to search, in the
Well,
Chrome store.
yeah. So my big thing, as I said, I teach kindergarten. And let me just kind of preface that was I was the person that tried to remove kindergarten off my certificate before I taught it because I was terrified of it. I'm like, kindergarten teachers are a certain type of people, like they're amazing. And I just don't have that kind of energy. So when I switched jobs. I was out of school that I was with for over a decade. I just switched last year and they assigned me kindergarten. I was like, wait a second, hold the phone. So the big thing during that switch that I had to really think about was engagement. Because when you're engaging 5-year-olds, it's a whole different ballgame than when you're engaging 10-year-olds. So I got a lot of these extensions from my drive to try to engage these kiddos. So when I talk about
Okay.
useless, I mean they have no educational value whatsoever. I don't know why they exist, but they have changed my life
Okay, so now I'm understanding. Before when you were talking, I didn't understand your thinking behind your madness here. So now I understand where it's all coming from. All right. So why don't you go for it?
All right, so let me share my screen here so that you can take a look at my webpage here. Okay, so up at the top, you can see all of my extensions. And I think the first thing that most people will notice is that I have a couple of them, right? I
Yeah.
have just a few. And in fact, I have so many that I have to expand my Omni bar up here sometimes so that I can see the whole web address because there's so many extensions. And it just kind of goes to show I love them. I love playing with different ones and I love exploring. So I'm going to show you a couple of my favorites and kind of go through why I think they're really important. And I always kind of bring it back to that engagement piece. Like, how is this going to engage my students? And then the other thing I like to bring it back to is the little things. And that's kind of what I always call my little tech tips, because sometimes it's just saving teachers 2 or 3 minutes in their day, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of my two, like when I'm vetting a new extension, that's kind of what I think. Is it going to be engaging and is it going to save time? And if so, I'm like, install.
Okay. Okay.
So let me go through. And actually, if you don't mind, before I talk about my first extension, can I talk about something really quick that's not an extension?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this little tech tip changed my life, blew my mind this year, and I don't think enough people know about it. So I figured while I have your audience, I want to change a life or two. So copy paste, right? We all do it a million times. Our fingers know Control C, Control V, like it's just like it's muscle memory at this point. My biggest pet peeve was when I'd go to copy and paste something and I accidentally copied something after what I wanted and it was something different. So there is a setting on 99% of computers. I don't think Chromebooks have it. I think that's the only exception, but it's called advanced copy paste. And it allows you to copy up to 25 different things onto a clipboard. And then you can choose the order in which you paste it.
Okay.
For somebody that's on their computer a lot throughout the day, this.
So is that a keystroke? Is that like a shortcut?
Yeah, it's like a hotkey. And for Windows computers, you have to go into your clipboard settings and then turn on your clipboard history. So I have a picture of it right here. And then instead of, and this is the hard part, because like I said, our fingers know Control C and Control V. You're still going to hit Control C, but instead of hitting Control V, you're going to hit the Windows key and V, and that brings up your clipboard.
Okay.
And then once you have your clipboard, let me see if I can drag it over. It's on my other screen. It doesn't want to move. Okay. So once you have your clipboard, you can select the order in which you want to paste the 25 things that you have on your clipboard.
And that's not an extension. That's just like a built-in feature within the Windows operating system.
Correct.
Okay.
It's not an extension, but I think it's such a valuable tool that I always try to share it wherever I go.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm a Chromebook user, and with the latest version of the Chrome OS, now you can pin or it saves. It doesn't pin, but it saves the last, I want to say 5.
Yeah, that's even super helpful.
Yeah, like 5 things that you copied, and it'll save them to the clipboard, and then you can pick, like similar to what you're saying, you can pick, the last 5. So that's good to know, because there are some Windows users out there, and I didn't know that. I had no idea. So not that I would use it because I'm on a Chromebook, but
Right.
in school I use a Windows computer, so that might come in handy for me in school. So I appreciate that. I didn't know that. And that's assuming on Windows 10, right?
I also had it on a couple of older computers and it worked fine, but yeah, my computer's 10, so definitely on a 10.
All right, cool.
Love it, love it. Okay, so extensions. I've picked, I think, like my top 10.
Okay.
So the first one I'm going to start with is the useless one. And you will laugh at it, I know, but I'm telling you, life-changing. It is a
Oh, I
confetti
heard this
cannon.
one. This is yeah.
I mean, who spent time developing this? I want to know, and I want to like praise the person because it's been incredible as a virtual teacher.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like. The more you click it, the more confetti you get. And it can be on any single web page. It can be, you can have it up and then have like PowerPoint over it, but it's phenomenal. And we talk a lot about celebrating our kids and just, taking brain breaks. And you're never too old and too mature for a confetti cannon.
Yeah, no. That's, I have that installed. That I did use.
Right?
It's not useless though. It's engaging. It's grabbing your audience, like you said.
Right. And I'm a big sound effects user. I love Stream Decks. I don't know if you've heard of those before, the Elgato Stream Decks, but I have the confetti popping cannon in the back, so I have the sound effect going. It's amazing. So on that same note, if you have confetti, you might as well have balloons, right? So there's another extension called Balloons for Chrome.
Balloons, okay.
Mm-hmm. And these are great because you can pop them. So watch as I send my balloons up. They're a little slow to start, but then they get going. And just like bubble wrap, you can pop them. And that's
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay.
So as a virtual teacher, we celebrate our kiddos' birthdays, and I always tell them, all right, here are your balloons. And then you can see them like popping the screen, and I'll like click it so it looks like they're popping it. And it's so much fun.
That's cool. All right, that's a new one. I didn't know about that one.
You have confetti, might as well have balloons.
I can see the balloons though, like, you're celebrating your birthday or your student's birthday and, give them a little shout out. That's cool.
Right?
Yeah. Especially in kindergarten.
Oh my gosh, they love it. They get so excited. It's like a cat and a laser pointer. All right, so here are some of my other favorite extensions. This one's pretty well known, but I don't think people use it to its full potential. So this is Giphy's extension, and it looks like this up on the extension bar. And when you open it, it's got these 4 options. And I think that a lot of people just stick with this option because they're used to, GIFs with backgrounds and, there's a ton. But what I found really, really, really helpful is the 2nd and the 4th button. So let me show you what the 2nd and the 4th button do. The 2nd button, it's what's called stickers, but really it's moving PNGs. So there's no background. And what's really cool is when you type in like arrows or underline or sparkles, they have tons and tons of options. So if you are really trying to have your kids pay attention to one particular detail, having it circled and continually circled really draws in their attention.
So how do you put that onto like a slide deck on a slide?
Yeah. You just drag and drop. So
if I just drag and drop it in there?
Yeah, okay. And there's one little weird trick. Let me show you. So if I drag this one, what happens is there's almost like 2 layers that appear. And what you have to do is click off and then back on and then hit backspace. And that weird layer disappears with the text. And then you just have a normal movable GIF.
Like GIF, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I never used Giphy. Never. I don't know. I just never did. I knew about it, but I never used it. And that, now I can see why, a lot of people do put the bells and whistles and GIFs and animations and all this flashy stuff into their slides. Now I can see how easy it is to do that.
I mean, I'm a virtual teacher, so my entire instruction is through a Google slide deck. So, and with kindergartners, I really need to draw their attention. So
do you find it to be distracting though?
Well, so I obviously wouldn't use as many as I'm showing you right now.
Right.
Maybe 1 or 2. You also have to take ADA compliance into account, where you don't want, you don't want it to be overly distracting. You don't want it to be too bright and flashy. We don't want, and I think there's a rule of thumb, like if it flashes consistently, like the one I just pasted, then that's a no-go. It's too distracting.
Okay. So
But
that's
when you have, when you have just a couple, like if this was a whole page of text and I just had this red circle going on the really, the big idea or what I really wanted them to focus in on, it would be a lot better.
okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I never really, again, I just try to get my content in there. Well, I'm middle school, so it's different,
It is.
But I just try to get what I need to get done, make it nice and appealing, but I don't put GIFs into my presentations. I honestly don't. So it's good that you're showing it, because it is easy to put it in there if someone needs to do that.
Yeah, and I'll show you another way in just a second of how you can incorporate content with the GIFs. Let me just show you real quick the other button that I feel like a lot of people miss. This last one, the text one, what's cool about it is that you can put in your own text. So if we wanted to do the sweet talk, we could type it in, and then it will turn anything that you want to type in into a moving GIF.
Okay.
So you can do, titles or like big ideas. Again, you don't want like the core of the content to be in flashy letters. Makes it hard to read, but it's great for titles. And I like that you can customize it.
Yeah, that's a good option. I like that. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's
so
fun.
Putting it into content, and actually let me show you one other screen. I love celebrating, especially kindergarten. So this was just a cute way to show off some of those gifts. And I have like a student of the week, and I'll put their picture here, and you can kind of jazz it up with the gifts.
So you put your Bitmoji in there, and then the sparkles are a GIF.
Yep, that's a layer. So that's the Bitmoji layer. That's the sparkle layer.
And then the background.
That is a GIF from the first section with backgrounds.
Gotcha.
Here.
Okay.
So there's a couple things going on there. And then you can layer it and change the order and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's creative in the way that you're showing it. So now when you present it, do you do it in present mode and to the students? And does it okay, so do you put it in present mode for the students to see?
So I don't, because I use Zoom and I use the portion of your screen, so I can put my screen share just around the edge of my slide. I don't put it in present because I like to have my speaker notes down here and be able to scroll through here. And I also use my dashboard a lot. So I'll put, images on the side and drag them in instead of doing like timings and stuff.
So you're just really showing them the slide deck. They don't actually open up the slide deck themselves.
Correct. Everything is screen share.
Okay.
So then the last tip for GIFs that you might appreciate a little bit more is tying it into curriculum. And what I love is that you can do stop motion animation using the Giphy pieces. So I wanted to show you, this is Señor Tomate for Spanish class. And I made a stop motion animation using Google Slides. So all that is, I don't know if you're familiar with stop motion at all, but you make a series of slides, maybe 20 of them, and then you change the movement of the character just a little each slide. So it ends up looking like, let's see if it'll play. There we go. That's kind of the end. It'll restart. There we go. So the Spanish class would have to say, soy un tomate. I am a tomato. And then now I'm salsa. So this is something, I mean, my kindergartners can do this.
Yeah.
They are able to change the animation a little bit each time and make their own videos. So that's kind of fun.
That's cool. And that's just through the slide deck. That's not really. Do you give them like I don't know what you call it. Like we call it like a bank of like, like a word bank, or
Yeah.
do you give them, you know, an area where they can pick
Yeah.
from one, so that they don't go searching for the
For
objects?
K-3, where the spelling is not quite there yet, definitely. Otherwise, the entire class time is, how do you spell? How do you spell? But for the older kids, yeah, they can
They can
type
go,
in their own.
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But this one's fun because then the mission here is to take a screenshot, so they can use either the snipping tool or Snagit or whatever tool they have, print screen, whatever. And they have to snip it when the answers are correct. So when Pina, actually this is a different one, but when para is right under the pear, they have to screenshot it and then they'll turn it into me. And it's kind of
And
a fun
is that a
way.
GIF too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's Google Slides, and then you use Tall Tweets Classic, which is a website, and it turns it into a GIF.
Okay. That's how I've made GIFs before. I made them with tall tweets.
It's a great website because it pulls it right from your Google, and you don't have to, do all the transferring and converting. It's just
it's
one
pretty.
click.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
This is just a fun way to use the GIFs from Giphy. I just, it's kind of thinking outside of the box in terms of, yes, I have access to a bunch of moving pictures. Now, what do I do with them?
Well, that's with anything, right? Like it's how you use it, like, putting it into content and making it educational,
Right. Definitely.
That's definitely cute.
I'm glad you like it. Okay, so a couple more. This one is called Popsicle Sticks. I know every elementary teacher worldwide has seen where you put each kid's name on a popsicle stick, put them in a jar, pull one out at a time so that it's random. This is basically the digital version of that.
And that's a Chrome extension too?
Yep.
Okay.
So it looks like this. You can either preset your classes or you can add them as you go. And what's really great is when you add them, it takes just seconds to add a new student. So it looks like this. And then you just hit random picker and it picks a kiddo.
Ah, okay.
There you are.
So does it save by class or no?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't say it. There you go. Classes too. Okay.
Yep. So there's 2 different classes that I have here. I think you can have up to 20 different classes.
Oh, wow.
And you can either preset your kids using a roster, and you can do it like all at once or one kid at a time. So if you're not totally sure who's going to be in class that day, or if you notice that, if Swift is absent, you can quickly just remove them and then they're off.
Okay.
That's real quick.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I didn't know about that one. That's a cool one.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like that one. I could use that one in middle school too.
Yep. And then they all have to be prepared.
And they all have to say something to you.
That's right. Dun, dun, dun. All right. The next, I think 2 of them are just completely useless, but absolutely worth it. And for my kiddos, like if we reach our goal or something, I'll say we can pick a new cursor if we reach this goal, or if it's their birthday, or, you can come up with a million different incentive reasons. But this one's called Custom Cursor. And it looks like this. And there's tons of different options. There's holidays. There's, if it's Easter or Thanksgiving, I can get a turkey cursor going. Yeah. And I think that's super fun.
There's all different like characters, right? Like cartoon characters, because middle school kids have this installed. And
I'm sure.
I've seen many different types of cursors.
Yes.
It is fun though.
It is fun. And sometimes it's just those silly little useless things that help build that relationship that can be hard to get in middle school.
Yeah.
And I like this one because it's really easy to get rid of it just by hitting that power button, because sometimes they're obnoxious.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can also, my favorite one, this one allows you to create a cursor. So for one of them, I had my face and it was like,
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's neat.
I'm like, now you guys have to stare at two of my faces for 45 minutes.
Wow. That's funny.
This one's equally useless, but I'm telling you, my 5-year-old noticed immediately, and I feel like they watched what I was asking them to watch a lot closer. So check out the YouTube that I embedded. You see what's different?
No, it's still loading.
You
Oh, the
see it on the
cursor at the
bottom?
bottom?
Yup. It's the little
What
Mario
is that? Oh, I
mushroom.
was just gonna say, is that Mario? Oh, look at that. Okay. Huh.
So again, totally useless, but this one's called Custom Progress Bar for YouTube. And it allows you to pick, there's a ton. You can have like pizza or a heart, or, there's like the DeLorean, which of course no kindergartner knows about,
No.
but makes me smile.
Now that's different. I didn't know about that one. I
Yeah,
can
and it's
see middle school kids having a kick out of that one.
yeah, it's a great teachable moment because then I get to talk about cursors, I get to talk about the progress bar, I teach them
Progress bar.
about it's called scrubbing when you scrub through the progress bar. So we talk about all this terminology that they're going to use and hear eventually, and they'll be like, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. That's
Totally
cute.
useless.
Yeah, but it's a conversation starter.
Agreed.
Or icebreaker.
Totally. All right, a couple more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
This one's kind of cool. It's called Just Color Picker. It allows you to pull the hex codes off of any website so that you can change your shapes into those colors.
Yeah, I used it all the time. Color picker.
It's nice. I feel like there is something about a well-constructed slide presentation with colors that just, you have like a theme and it's not just all over the place. I feel like it just makes it look a little bit more professional. And I love showing the kids like when they're making those gifts or something. And sometimes there's like, I don't know, like a shape or something that they don't want in the picture. And I show them how to put a shape over it and then use the hex code to blend it into the background so that they don't see it.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because my son's 23 years old. He's designing business cards and he has a theme. And I said to him, is that the right color? And he's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's orange. It's close enough. I'm like, no, let's go into it. And it had most applications, they had their own picker in there.
Yeah.
So I showed him how to use it. And he's like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. So see, even at 23, you learned something new,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
yeah, we talk about STEAM and that it's right there. We
mhm.
incorporating art into things that don't normally scream art is really important.
Yeah. And it's, you're not just settling for,
Good enough.
good enough. You want it to be the precise color. So that's, I use that all the time.
Yeah. So this is just a great app that also
Mhm.
allows you to use it on any website. Okay. The next one, the name is going to make me laugh, so I hope it makes you laugh.
What is it? Sir
It's
Links a lot.
Sir Links a lot, and immediately my 90s child brain goes to that song. Sir Mix a lot.
Yeah, no, I never heard of that song before. Sir
Okay,
Mix a
well,
lot? That's the song?
no, it's not the song, but it was a summer anthem back in the 90s, and hopefully some of the audience knows exactly what I'm
All
talking
right.
about.
Well, you're
And
gonna have to we're gonna have to search for the song after the show's over and listen to it because
it'll be stuck in your head.
I probably have heard of it. I just don't know the chorus of the song that you're saying right now.
As soon as you hear it, you'll be
Sir,
like, oh.
all right, I'm gonna look. So what is it?
So the extension is Sir Links a Lot, and I can only imagine that the developer had the song in mind when he created it for Sir Mix-a-Lot. But this extension is really cool. If you haven't heard of it, it's really, really great for Google users. It allows you to force a copy. So when you normally force a copy, you have to go into the URL, find the last backslash, and then change, the last part of the URL to copy. In this one, you just click a button and it immediately changes it to force a copy, and it copies the URL onto your.
Oh, that's handy. So it'll change the URL and put copy in there, and then it'll copy
it onto your clipboard. Yep.
What about preview?
Yep. So same thing. You can, there's 4 different options here. One of them makes it forces a copy. One of them turns it into a preview. One of them turns it into a template so that they can copy it and use it again. And then the last one turns it into a PDF. So it only saves you a couple of minutes, but I'm telling you, every minute counts and it's so valuable.
Oh, yeah. No, this is definitely useful. I mean, I'm always changing my URLs all the time.
Right.
Backspace and taking out whatever I need, put in copy or preview. So you open up the presentation and you click on this link, or you click on the extension.
Yep. And then, so it looks like this.
And then you just, wait, I have to zoom in on it. Hold on a second. Okay, so that's the current. Oh, okay. And then it gives you the 4 options there.
Yep. And there's a couple more options on the bottom.
If you say force copy, then it'll just generate that URL. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's super easy. Now that's a time saver.
Yep. And then you can turn it into a force a copy and then click this copy shortener. It says copy shortener link to clipboard, and that turns it into the Goog.gl, the GOO.gl shortened link.
Okay.
That way, if you're having the kids type it in or you want to send it quickly, it has the shortened link.
Okay, that's cool. I'll have to check that one out. Now, what I thought that GOO dot URL shortener, I thought that one
it did. And as soon as I said that, I was like, wait a second, it's not. They changed it to the bit.lys. So you can see.
They changed it to the bit.ly? Okay.
So now when I copied it, it's a bit.ly.
It's a bit. Okay. Yeah, because I thought, I'm thinking, I thought they retired the GOO.gl shortener. Okay.
They did, and for the longest time, it did link it, and then you're right. I think it was like a year ago that they officially took it out.
Okay, so that's nice that they used the bit.ly shortener to do that. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I'm gonna have to download that one.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Okay.
I'm going to put all of these Chrome extensions into my Wakelet collection that I have for Chrome extensions and refer back to them when I need it.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone can find use out of all of these. That's why there's a really, really, really big variety of different things on here. But I figured if you could just find one that you love, we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
These last ones are pretty quick.
Yeah, one tab.
One tab's really helpful. What I learned about it that I didn't always realize, because I thought it was just an organization feature, is that it suspends the tabs too. So if you have a lot of tabs open, it saves your memory so that the tabs that are suspended aren't actively pulling off your memory.
Gotcha.
So that's super helpful. Have you heard of Black Menu before?
No.
Okay, this was one of my first extensions. So normally when you want to go into Google Drive, you have to open up a new tab and search through what you're looking for. Check this out. You might want to zoom in on this. You ready?
Wait, hold on. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to click on my Black menu. Check it out. I am instantly in my slides. Now I'm in my Drive. And I have all of my files here. I can click into the files and see the individual files. I can start a new slideshow, doc, any Google application right from this menu.
What?
Yeah. So it is a way to peek into your files without actually opening them.
So I like that you used that term peak, because it does give you a lot, a lot of options to go check out what you need to check out. But if you find it, can you click on it and open up the file from here?
Yes, ma'am. Might take a second, but it does open. Of course, the one I
Wow,
chose to
look at
open was
that.
PowerPoint, but yeah, so I
That's
can
cool.
go into all of my files. And what I also like is that you can go into the file that you want. So let's say I'm going into this file, and then I can start a new Google slide so that it's already organized in the correct folder for you.
In that folder. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. And I even saw Jamboard in there too. Jamboard's listed in there.
Yeah, so there are, let me go back to it. There are, you can customize this bar here
Okay.
with every single
Oh,
product Google has
wow.
ever created. And I got to actually learn some of these products that I never knew existed just from this screen. So
Oh,
you
wow.
can pick what you
This is
use.
definitely useful.
I
I'm
saved the best for
always
last.
doing that. I'm always going into a new tab, go to Drive, search, and then open up a new tab or duplicate or whatever. Like, just continuously opening up tabs to do different things. This is great. What was this
Yep.
called again? Chrome
Black menu, which
Chrome.
makes no sense because the icon is like the most colorful rainbow you've ever seen.
Well, the name doesn't, again, like I thought, let me just put it in the chat. Hold on. I thought it had something to do with contrast. You
Yeah, well,
know,
yeah, that would make sense.
that's what I thought of when you first said the name. Wow, that's a really great extension. And then you can even pop it out of there and open up a new tab from there. I see.
Correct. Yep. And you can switch between profiles. I know I have my personal one and my school one. So that's really
Yep,
handy.
that's handy.
Yeah, there's just a ton
It's
of
kind of like a
different.
mini, like you said, it's a sneak peek or a small view of like the apps launcher,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
but
way of
with more
explaining it.
functionality, because you can switch and you can see more of your files.
Yep.
That's
And from
awesome.
here, you can copy or add people right from here. So again, you're not opening up your 900th tab of the
Yeah.
day.
Oh, and you can go in and share a link from there. You said, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. I like that. I'm gonna definitely download that one. Wow.
Super helpful.
Any other ones?
So the last two are very content specific, and I will brief over them because I think that you really have to explore them to understand everything that they can do. But the first one is called Insert Learning. Have you heard of that one?
I've heard of it, but I never really used it.
Yeah, I didn't use it much this year with my kinders, but I do think probably fourth grade on. It says recommended for sixth, but I think fourth grade on could really benefit from it. Basically, you pick any website. It could be, Nat Geo, it could be any website, and you can add questions and quizzes into the website. And what's cool is that, we always talk about teaching authentic lessons to our kiddos. They're using the websites that really exist. So we're not taking the information out of the website and asking them questions completely separately. We are when you, and again, it's an extension. Here's an example of a question from the website or a page from the website. The question just kind of makes space. I don't even know how it
So it kind
makes
of just
space.
embeds it in there.
Yeah. So
that's
they are going to look through the original website, exactly how it looks on the web, but then they'll have a question that they have to answer. And the answers go to the teacher on a report.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. Can it go into a video or no?
So I have a different extension for
Extension
that.
for that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm. If you want to do it into a video, Edpuzzle's the way to
Right?
go.
Yeah. That after I said that, I'm like, yeah, Edpuzzle does that. So true.
Yeah, and it's just a different concept. Like in this
Yeah.
one, in Insert Learning, they're actually looking through the original website. In Edpuzzle, you'll give them a video and it'll pause, and you can, add
Add your
questions for
questions
them.
there. Yeah. Wow, this was great, Casey. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you got enough useless and useful websites or extensions.
I definitely did. I hope that the audience did as well. I think this was a great presentation that you put together for the Sweet Talk. So thank you so much, Casey. And you can reach out to Casey on Twitter at Casey Swift 87, and be sure to check out her website at bit.ly dot, what does that say? I can't really say it. bit.ly/Swift
C87.
C87. So that's her website as well. So thank you, Casey, for showing us all that. I learned a lot from you tonight. I'm going to definitely check out those Chrome extensions.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad that we were able to connect. So that concludes our show for tonight. This is going to be the last show for a few weeks. I'm taking a couple of weeks off for vacation and summer break. I'll be back probably at the end of July. Might be the middle of July, but sometime in July. So if you would like, let me share my screen and get to my website. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, so if you want to catch up on any episodes, you have to go to my website at thesweettalk.com, and the latest episode and podcast will be here on the homepage. You can also check out the new book that Alice Keeler and I wrote. It's all about Google Jamboard, teaching with Google Jamboard. We give you 90 plus ways to use it in the classroom, and we give you over 150 sample jams and templates to go along with it. That's available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. If you'd like to support my mission and help me pay it forward, you can become a sponsor on my show. Just fill out the sponsor form and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can fill out the guest inquiry form and you can come on and pay it forward and share what you know with the audience as well. If you'd like to see any past episodes, you can go to the episode page here, and a list of all the episodes that I've done in the past will display here, in addition to the show notes. It does load. It just takes a little bit of time. And there it is. It's coming up. So here, all of the show notes and YouTube links will be here. The Jamboard page here will show it'll show my idea board for Jamboard. This is a presentation that other teachers submitted to be shown here. It's basically a pay it forward Jamboard presentation by teachers for teachers, and it gives you ideas on how other people are using Jamboard in the classroom. You can click on the link to sample it and get a copy of it if you'd like. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My show is on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And you can also get the newsletter. And that concludes my show for tonight. This was a lot of fun, Casey, and I'm really thankful that you took the time to be on tonight. So I really appreciate it. And thanks for being part of the Sweet Talk family.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And have a great summer. And I will see everyone in a few weeks. All right. Have a great night. Bye.